Joseph had long suffering. He had patience. In that time, he remained faithful to God. Because while it's easy to murmur and bicker in your season of waiting for God to bring about deliverance, it's easy to forget that even when I don't see it, he's working. Even when I don't feel it, he's working. But we have to encourage ourselves that the morning will come. It will break. Sunlight will break through. But we have to exhibit and practice patience. And it's not easy. I know this to be true for many people in different situations. I feel like I'm always waiting for that moment, and this is being a little transparent, where I feel like I can stop wishing that I could depend on people. And let me explain. I feel like I constantly live in a world where people let me down. And it's not that they truly let me down, but my perspective is that I'm gonna be let down, so at the smallest sight of something, I feel like I'm disappointed already. But you know how many times my wife has taught me, just be patient. I might jump to the conclusion, and then 10 seconds later, she does the thing that I would have wanted her to do. But because I'm so antsy, I can't be patient, because I want God to be this microwave type God and this genie that grants my wishes as soon as I make them. I can't wait to see his perfected work come out. Sometimes things take time. Take some fire, some refining, some pruning, some chiseling away at certain things. And that takes patience, because it doesn't happen in an instant. It's been 13 years since I expressed that dream of taking over the youth ministry. And I'm still a work in progress. I still know that there's better that I can do for the youth ministry. I still know that there's more that God wants out of me. But I have to be patient and allow him to do his good work. And then after 2 years, we see that Joseph comes to this place where, while he's still being faithful, Pharaoh has these two dreams. These dreams that don't make sense. The first dream is this dream about 7 healthy cows, plump, fat, really nice looking cows. Probably get a real good steak from them, right? He sees them grazing at the water, and then 7 other ugly, decrepit, scrawny cows come onto the picture and swallow up the healthy cows. And then Pharaoh has this other dream that doesn't make sense. He sees 7 healthy grains of stalks of grain, and then these withered stalks of grain. And those stalks that are withered eat up the healthy ones. And he's like, what is this that I'm seeing? These dreams troubled him so much that he asked for someone in the land to interpret these dreams. And at that, the cupbearer remembered, I've offended someone. Someone that I promised I would think of when I left this place. And he remembers Joseph. He tells about how Joseph interpreted these dreams for him. And Pharaoh calls for Joseph. And Joseph comes faithful, staying committed to God, doing what he's doing in his life, even when it wasn't comfortable, right? And because he stayed diligent and he stayed with his integrity, he was patient. When God opened the door for Joseph, Joseph was able to walk in and execute. Joseph walked in and he said, there's nothing too hard for my God. Those dreams are easy to interpret. There's going to be 7 years of good harvest in Egypt. But then after those 7 years, there's going to be 7 years of famine. And this is a warning to be prepared. And because of this, the Pharaoh is like, this is awesome that someone was able to interpret, but what are we going to do? Who can we put in charge of the land to make sure that we do not suffer during these 7 years of famine? Anyone as wise as Joseph? No. So Joseph then becomes second in command of Egypt. You see, Joseph is going through some experience because he's second in command at Potiphar's house, second in command at the jail, and now only behind Pharaoh in all of the land of Egypt. And through this, Joseph eventually comes to meet his brothers, who come to Egypt because the famine has wiped and devastated the whole land. 7 years have passed, and now the famine has hit. Jacob tells his sons, go to Egypt and get some grain. Go to Egypt, get some grain, bring it back so that we might survive. And of course, Joseph, he stored up 7 years of surplus. Egypt is doing all right. They're rationing things out. And come brothers that he hasn't seen in years. Some of you think, oh, I'm going to get them. Y'all threw me into slavery, I'm going to throw y'all into prison. Do y'all know where I've been? But that wasn't Joseph. Eventually, you see Joseph, after testing his brothers to see if they still had resentment towards him, he eventually breaks down and tells them, guys, it's me, it's Joseph. The things that you did to me, I understand that you meant it for evil, but God used it for good because now I'm in a position where I can give for you. I can help you sustain your life, preserve your life. I know that you wanted me gone, you wanted me dead, but God said, what man meant for evil, I will turn for good. So Joseph's whole family eventually comes to Egypt with the blessing of Pharaoh. And what do we see now? Joseph is over his brothers. He's over his parents. And this dream that Joseph had, while not to be the direct rule, like, I have dominion over you. No, it was, I went through this so I could preserve your life. I went through this so that I could be a deliverer for you, so that I could help be a way. God used me as a door for you to still have life. And I look at that and think that is beautiful. That Joseph could get to this place where there was no bitterness in his heart, but only joy at the fact that he could help keep his family line going. That he, in this position of his brothers and father bowing down to him, was only doing that so that his father would continue to live. His brothers would continue to live. Their children would continue to live. And the descendants that came from the line of Jacob.